In this video, I'm going to be talking about the best investment that I've made for practice over the last 7 years of my professional career. And to get right into it, that best investment is the Guardian anchor pegs. And the reason that I really like these is because essentially they keep the net intact and they keep it from moving, which allows you to work on your post play, your RVH, getting into the post, pushing off the post, and using the posts as much as you can in practice, so that when you get into a game, your ability to use all these tools around the post is there and solidified. There's other pegs like this, such as the Piranha pegs, but those are three-pronged, and because they're three-pronged, there's not enough space in between the prongs, I find, to really dig into the ice and keep the net there. So because these are two-pronged, I feel like these keep the net in way better, and they're much more reliable in practice. Now, we're not paid by Guardian at all. We don't get any money for talking about these anchor pegs, but we really like this product, and it's probably the best investment that I've made for practice, to help my practices be as effective as possible over the last 7 years of my career. And I'll explain to you why. Think about in game situations when the puck is in your zone, where the puck is a lot of the time. A lot of the time it's being moved around behind the net, on the walls, and a lot of times you're going to be standing on the post or using the post to move around. Also, a lot of the goals in games are scored in tight, right? So being able to move around the net and use those posts to push is super important to being really good in tight within a 10-foot radius of the net. So if you can't work on that in practice, then when you get to a game, you're not going to have that tool to use, and you're not going to be able to make as many saves on pucks that are within that 10-foot radius of the net, which is where most goals are scored. The third reason is in a game, think about where your defensemen are trying to push the puck. They're trying to push it to the outside, right? So that's where a lot of times you're going to get those sharp angle shots where you're in an awkward situation around the post. I think coaches don't understand that posts are really difficult to work around, right? So they're very easy to catch your foot on, catch your blade on, and that's why you see those kind of weird goals in the NHL that squeeze foot hole or hip hole, or they go some random spot while the goalie's in their RVH. Thinking about game situations and how often you really have to use the post to make saves and move around to get you in position to make saves, that's why these are so important to have in practice, or another peg that keeps your net in place. Being able to be really good around the post, where you're going to be a lot in a game situation, especially when teams are working the puck around the net in your zone. Think about offensively, teams want to change sides. They want to work the puck behind the net and out the other side. And in a game when this happens, you want to be able to use your post to move across and push off if they go low to high or they find an open player in the slot. So if you can't move around the net in practice without the post coming off, and you can't practice your post play and being able to use the posts effectively and work around them effectively, you're doing yourself a huge disservice for game situations. And so when you are able to do that and you're able to use these pegs to keep the net on and really push off the net, it's going to help you a lot when it comes to game time. Now, another thing about this version of the pegs is these have the skate protector on them. So you see the post goes in there, has a skate protector on there. You don't have to get that. You can get it without the skate protector. I think it's a little bit cheaper. The other thing is the only thing about these that I would say if you're going to have a problem is that if you use them enough, which we use them all the time with our skate blades, you can actually wear holes in them and eventually they'll become disconnected. But I think in my 7-year career, I've had one set of these that lasted me for 6 of those 7 years. Maybe even 6.5 of those 7 years. So they're pretty durable, which is another reason that I think that they're great. So obviously practice is the time to get better. It's the time to work on your skills. What you do in practice, being able to work around the post, work on those sharp angle shots, are going to kind of cut down on those goals during the season where you're just kind of like, man, I should have had that one, or I can't believe that one snuck through me on the post. So I highly recommend being able to put yourself in a situation where you can use the post in practice. Now, I understand that in youth hockey and lower level hockey, maybe that's under juniors, let's say, you might still have those metal old-fashioned short pegs during games, or maybe even men's league. I would say for that, it's still worth investing in these because you can still work on your skills of moving off the post. And then as you keep getting older and you get to levels where you can use the post, you're going to be really good around the post and really good at pushing off the post, using your reverse, and using all those tools around the post. So I hope this video helps. I highly recommend these pegs. I'm going to leave a link to them in the description below. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about how using your posts in practice is so important and why it's so important, how it helps your game, the way that it does, and how it makes your practices very efficient, leave a comment below and we'll get to it as soon as we can. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Take care.